Hi everyone, I'm Northern Explorer. Welcome to my channel. The main purpose of overlanding for my wife and I is to access interesting and challenging hiking locations. The following is a list of our favorite hiking trails here in North America. South Kaibab Trail. We hiked this trail on our trip to Overland Expo West. South Kaibab Trail is located on the south side of Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona. The trailhead is located on Yaqui Point Road, which is accessible only by shuttle. Private vehicles are not permitted. The night before the hike, we stayed at Desert View Campground. This campground doesn't take reservations and is usually full by noon. We woke up early the next day and drove 25 miles west to Grand Canyon Village in order to catch the shuttle. It was a cool 70 degrees at the rim that morning. We made sure to bring plenty of water since we didn't have our water filter, and the only source of water along the entire length of the trail is the Colorado River. We made our way down the trail passing several mule trains, making sure to stand on the uphill side per park recommendations. After a mile and a half of easy hiking, we reached Cedar Point. Cedar Point is the only location along the entire length of the trail that has vault toilets. After another mile and a half, we reached Skeleton Point. This is where the park tells you to turn around if you are just out for a day hike. The trail is deceptively easy going down, but with very few shaded spots. Many people are overcome by the difficult conditions as they ascend out of the canyon. Having completed several other challenging day hikes that year, we felt confident that we could complete the entire trail to the river and back in one day. Some people even complete the rim-to-rim hike in a single day. However, this requires the logistics of taking a shuttle back to the south rim. After departing Skeleton Point, we continued down the trail another 4.3 miles to the Colorado River. There is no access to the river on the south side. After passing through a tunnel and over a suspension bridge, we made our way to the beach area on the north side of the river for a quick snack. The temperature at the bottom of the canyon was over 90 degrees. Dipping our feet in the water was a welcome break. Well rested, we made our way back up the 7.3 miles to the trailhead, albeit at a slightly reduced pace. Crypt Lake Trail. We hiked this trail on our trip to Banff National Park. Crypt Lake Trail is located in Waterton Lake National Park in Alberta, Canada. The trailhead is located on the shoreline of Upper Waterton Lake. In order to access the trail, visitors must purchase a ticket through the Waterton Shoreline Cruise Company for a 15-minute ferry ride across Upper Waterton Lake. After disembarking the ferry, hikers form a single file line ascending the narrow trail. Over the course of the next mile, this group spaces out as everyone hikes their own pace. Sights along the way include Burt Rock Falls, Crypt Falls, and a nice view of Crypt Valley. The most challenging part of the trail begins at a narrow ledge section leading into an 80-foot tunnel. Just past the tunnel, there's a short spur trail to the top of Crypt Falls. Once back on the main trail, hikers are faced with a short rock scramble before Crypt Lake comes into view. Crypt Lake is a pristine aquamarine body of water surrounded by crumbling scree. It is a picturesque spot for a snack, a nap, or even a swim. Time permitting, I would recommend taking the return trail to Hell Roaring Falls. This is a steeper, more rugged trail that only few people in our group took. It reconnects with Crypt Lake Trail, so no backtracking is needed. Be on the lookout for bear. A lone hiker in our group was able to take some pictures of a black bear as it crossed the trail in front of him. Both black bear and grizzly bear are known to be in this area. Gros Morne Mountain. We hiked this trail when touring Canada's maritime provinces, including the Trans-Labrador Highway. Gros Morne Mountain is located in Gros Morne National Park in Newfoundland, Canada. The trailhead is located just off of Highway 430, south of Rocky Harbor. If you're into challenging hikes, put this one on your list. Gros Morne Mountain is the second highest peak on the island. The trail starts out with a gradual ascent through a forested area, then opens up to a meadow at the base of a steep boulder gully. Climbing this section is the most challenging part of the hike. There is no set trail through the boulders, so hikers can choose their own route. The Those that make it to the top are rewarded with panoramic views of the surrounding landscape and one of the few Arctic alpine habitats this far south. The return trip is much easier following a well-established trail down several sets of staircases. The trail is closed May 1st until the last Friday in June in order to protect the fragile ecosystem. Check the weather. There is no shelter along the trail. Also, sturdy footwear is highly recommended.
Lakeshore Trail.
Lakeshore Trail is located in Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. The East End trailhead is located at the Grand Sable Visitor Center off of County Road H58. The West End trailhead is located at the Munising Falls Visitor Center off of Sandpoint Road. This trail utilizes a small section of the North Country Trail as it traverses across Upper Michigan. We started our hike on the east end of the trail and staged a vehicle on the west end.
If you don't have a second vehicle, it is recommended that you use a shuttle service at the beginning of your trip and then hike to your vehicle.
Shuttle accommodations must be made ahead of time. All campsites must also be reserved ahead of time through the park website. Lake Superior is within sight of the trail in many places, but only accessible in a few locations. A water filter is highly recommended as there are only a few places to get potable water along the way. The trail passes through a drive-in campground, several day-use scenic areas, and a few historic sites. Away from these areas you will encounter very few people. One of the more notable sights to see is Chapel Rock. Chapel Rock was once a sandstone arch that collapsed in the 1940s. Still remaining are the roots of the trees connecting the now remaining spire to the mainland. Chapel Rock is the location depicted on the 2018 Michigan State Quarter. Depending on the time of year and recent weather, the trail may be very muddy in spots.
Longs Peak Keyhole Route. We hiked this trail while on one of our several trips through Colorado. Longs Peak is located in Rocky Mountain National Park. The trailhead is just off of Highway 7 on Longs Peak Road, which is about 9 miles south of Estes Park. At 14,259 feet, Longs Peak is the tallest mountain in the park. After a 2-day power drive from our home that sits at just over 600 feet of elevation, we checked into Moraine Park Campground at an elevation of 8,160 feet. Moraine Park Campground is one of several campgrounds located within the boundaries of Rocky Mountain National Park. Already feeling the change in elevation, and with our hike up Longs Peak just 2 days away, we decided to do a shorter hike up Twin Sisters Peak, which has an elevation of 11,428 feet. The next day we took it easy and used the time to further acclimate ourselves. The morning of the big hike we woke up at 1 a.m. Due to fairly predictable afternoon thunderstorms, the park recommends a start time of no later than 2 a.m. When we pulled into the trailhead parking lot at 2:30 a.m., it was nearly full. After a final double check of our gear, we made our way to the trail. Making our way up the switchbacks, we could see a line of headlamps ahead of us. It was an easy 5.9 mile trek uphill in the dark before the trail opened up to a section called the Boulder Field. The Boulder Field is where hikers camp if they want to make it a multi-day hike. We arrived here right at sunrise and had a light snack before continuing on our way. The Keyhole, for which this route is named, could be seen in the distance as we navigated our way through this very rough section of the trail. Just below the Keyhole lies a memorial rock shelter that offers a place for another short break. Passing through the Keyhole to the other side of the mountain, the trail became much more technical. With narrow rock faces and sheer cliffs, a fall here would certainly be fatal. The final push to the top was a steep climb that made me wish I had spent another day getting used to the altitude.
Reaching the top made all of the effort worth it, not just for the once-in-a-lifetime view, but also the sense of accomplishment having completed our first 14er and our most difficult hike to date.
Conscious of our time, we ate a quick lunch and made our way back down the mountain. The return trip was made that much better when a herd of elk crossed the trail in front of us. That's it for this one. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.